see me ballin', man, they see me ballin'. They see me ballin', I'm so used to ballin'.
Welcome to the Byrd Buzz Show. I'm Anthony Byrd, and I would like to thank Byrd Production for giving us the opportunity to do the show today. I'm having to sit down with one of the Apex legends here, one of the great friend of mine, and someone that I know you guys are going to be interested to hear about and some of the things he has to say. The guy's name is Roosevelt Howard. I really appreciate you taking the time, coming out and talking with me today. But being Roosevelt Howard, we always call him Toon. Can you tell me where that nickname came from?
That nickname came from one of my daddy's friends that used to call me Honky Tonk, the highway patrol, because I used to run around in the house real fast with little cars and stuff, pushing them. And they finally cut it short to Toon, and that stuck with me, and that's what everybody called me ever since.
Okay. Now, you graduated from Apex High School, and I think you told me that you were a three-sport athlete.
Yes, I was a three-sports athlete.
And that's the three sports that you played were?
Football, basketball, and track. But I also would have played baseball, but track and baseball was at the same time, so I had to go with one or the other. I went with the track team because it was better suited for what I do.
Okay. And now, in basketball, your coach, who was your coach in basketball at the time?
My coach was Bobby Pittard.
Bobby Pittard.
A great man.
So a pretty good coach. Pretty good coach.
Great
okay.
coach.
And your football coach name was?
Bill Hodges.
Bill Hodges. And then in track, one of the coaches, I'm pretty sure, was the track coaches, or I'm not sure.
I'm not sure which one. I can't remember which one they are.
Okay.
Track
okay.
coach.
Well, tell me a little bit about your basketball career.
Well, my basketball career, like I said, I left the Apex Consolidated and went to the what's so-called white school at my junior year, and I had 2 years there to perform. And my basketball career started out really good. Bobby Pittard was a great man. They would always run plays, and when we play ball, we run plays, but we basically just put the ball out there and go for it. And he decided that these plays for a guy like me ain't doing no good. So
right.
He decided to just put the ball in my hand and let me just operate, and so much for the playbook.
And you was your number in high school. Did you have the same number in basketball and football?
I had 32 in football. I had 33 in basketball.
I got a picture of your jersey. I got to make sure I put that out. I want everybody to see what the jersey looked like back in the day. It meant a lot to have that number. Why did you have number 32?
32, because Jim Brown, he was the man back in the days. And he was the guy that I looked up to, and I decided I wanted to kind of have his number.
My guy, when I was playing sports, was David Thompson over at NC State. But in high school, I wore number 53 when I was playing basketball, and I guess I was Darryl Dawkins. I didn't even know nothing about Darryl Dawkins at the time until I saw the Philadelphia 76ers. So some of your achievements in them sports, like in basketball, what was your achievements like?
My achievements were great. I mean, I was always all conference, all tournament, and we rolled pretty good with that. We didn't win the championship, but we came pretty close to winning it a couple times.
Well, you know, that's hard to do, to win a championship. So just getting close to it, that means that you put in a lot of work to get to that point. So in the other sports, how did you do as far as achievements in another sport? Did you get close to winning championships? Did you win any championships when you was in high school?
We won the conference championship in football.
Okay.
And track, I got as far as the regionals.
That's pretty much an individual thing.
Yeah.
How you get there and that. Okay. And say in basketball, your toughest opponent, who was that?
Man, Barry Guyton.
Barry Guyton.
Yeah.
And where was he from? Barry Guyton.
Gardner Gibbons.
Gardner Gibbons. Okay.
Yeah. And that joke could jump out the gym.
Oh.
Yeah, he could jump out the gym.
And you know that's something you had some springs in the legs, because back then, you know, we had the I know I wore canvas Converse, And now they got shoes that all this technology stuff going on that help kids have a little bit more bounce. These guys, everything was just pure, just been that pure athlete to be able to do the things that you do on the court. So, what would you wear anyway?
Yeah, canvas Converse.
Converse.
That's what the shoe back there in them days. And if you didn't have them canvas Converse, you didn't have no sneakers.
That's right. You didn't have the shoes, and then they brought in the. I remember they brought the leather Converse in, and I still wore the canvas, so it was okay. So some of your greatest moments that you had in sports.
Well, in football, like I said, it would be when we played Bone Trail, and we had a tearaway jersey where we had cut up in the back, so if anybody grabbed it, it would tear. And I was running a touchdown for about 70 yards, and the guy grabbed the back of his jersey, and it tore off of him. And for some reason, after the football season was over, it got to basketball season. We were playing the same school, and this guy came with that same piece of that same jersey from football season, and that was fascinating to me that he thought that much of me to have a piece of my jersey that he wanted to hold on to.
Okay. Now, did y'all beat them in football and basketball?
Yes, we did.
Well, if he would have probably beat you in basketball, he might have threw it back at you, but you did so well in both sports. He had to hold on to that. He probably still got that to this day.
And I can tell you another thing about basketball. We were playing this school that had, first time they came to our place, and they didn't have their best player. So we beat them. But when we met to their place, they supposed to have their best player in the game at that time. So they just knew that they were going to beat us with him in the game this time. So me and my brother Mike and the rest of the team, we put something on them. And when people was coming in at halftime, they saw them with the lead. But they didn't know we had done busted the clock, and the clock couldn't.
Oh, okay.
The clock couldn't start at 100 over.
Okay.
So they thought they was in the lead, but we had the lead. We done busted the clock on them.
That's crazy right there. That's y'all putting up some points there. How many did you get that game? You remember?
About 30.
And you said you had your brother Mike. I see.
Yeah.
You got 3 more brothers. What did Mike put in that game?
I can't remember what Mike put in that game, but he was my only brother that I played most sports with. Because we was
close.
Youngest too.
Yeah. Okay. Now your family. Let's talk about mom a little bit. Let's talk about mom because I do remember mom. So I want you to just give your mom a shout out. Talk about your mom a little bit.
Well, my mother, her name is Doris Howard McCoy, and she raised 4 boys, and she raised them pretty much on her own. And she done a hell of a job taking care of us. She worked 2, sometimes 3 jobs to make sure we had what we needed, food, and she kept us under control. Now, we got out of shape a little bit, but we weren't going to go too far out because mother won't plan that. And she was a good lady, and she also taught school, and everybody respected her. And that's a good feeling to know that people appreciate your parents that great.
Now, you guys was pretty good athletes. And I would say that you was the best of all. Where are you at as far as the 4 boys? Is from 1 to 4? Are you the youngest, or are you in the middle?
I'm what you call the knee baby.
The knee baby. Okay.
Yeah.
So you learned a lot watching your older brother.
Yeah, watching my older brother Joe.
It normally worked that way, the young ones start getting it. And now your father, was your father around?
No, my father, he wasn't in my life that much, and that's the reason why it was so hard for my brother to take care of us, but she done the best she can do, and she deserves all the credit.
She do, and then I do remember when we used to, your house would be here, and the basketball court that we played on was here, and your mom would come around the corner, and she would always make sure that everyone was doing what they're supposed to be doing. Miss Doris helped raise our community. They said it takes a village to raise a child, And your mom was really a big part of that village that helped raise us. It's six boys in my family, and you know, with six of us, that's a whole lot of knuckleheads running around somewhere. But we had people like Miss Doris right there to make sure that we stayed in line, and we do appreciate that. And I appreciate you talking about your mom. Now, when you was in high school, Apex, the barriers that you had, can you talk to a little bit about barriers that you had in high school?
Yes, well, from the start with when I got to change schools, I was already behind, trying to get in and mingle and get in the groove with the white people. And some of them was okay, but a lot of them weren't. And we just had to try to make the best we could with what we had. And I was hoping that my play and ability would somewhat soften the situation up a little bit, where I would be accepted a little better. And which it did. And I guess that was the trend of trying to get things to start moving in the right direction, where we all can live under one roof, so to speak.
You don't realize, I know you may not realize, and you may, hopefully you do know that you guys was a big part in our lives. That we watched you play. We got the opportunity to see you play. I didn't get to see you play a lot because it was school nights and we had to be at home at a certain time to go to bed. It may be a Friday night that we'd be able to come to a game because we had the weekend to get up early in the morning and start working in the yard. But when we was able to come to see you guys play, it was just like going and watch professional athletes. Y'all just don't realize, or you don't realize how much we really looked up to you. You was a big part of my life. I remember that when I was in high school and my brother and myself, we won the 3A or 2A basketball championship. We beat Western Hornet. And this right here was the first guy to come to the court, hoist me up on his shoulder. And I never been up on anybody's shoulder. I'm up there worried that please don't drop. He had me on his shoulder, he carried me, and I'll never forget that. I really appreciate, you being a part of our life, helping raise us, because you meant so much. You were so instrumental in what was going on in Apex. The Howard Boys was right there. We had a real community there, and Apex was just like that. Now, what advice would you give to high school athletes today?
Well, the best advice I can give high school athletes today is always prepare, get your grades. You can't be out there slacking on that. And choose your friends correctly. And when you're playing sports, always try to get the best conditioning and get somebody to help push you. But keep yourself in shape, because one thing about being in condition and having yourself prepared for whatever you're trying to do, if you ain't in the best shape, you won't win.
That's some great advice from a great player here. I mean, we working on some things for this guy to get him to a status that he should be. This is a true Hall of Famer for Apex right here. Roosevelt Howard. He's a true Hall of Famer, and I'm going to advocate for you to get you where you're supposed to be, because we want to give you your flowers while you live, And that's something that you truly deserve. And I look forward to that day to be able to come to Apex and be there with you when you accept your award. I'm going to make sure I'm there, because you will be in that Hall of Fame, and I'm looking forward to that day. I want to thank everyone for joining us on the Byrd Buzz Show. Also, I want to thank Byrd Production for producing this show, and Mr. Howard for giving me the opportunity to sit down and talk with him. So we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Byrd Buzz Show.